You know, this is getting pretty nasty over there. More than 20,000 protesters, some hurling rocks and bombs, clashing with riot police in Greece again today. At least 15 injured in this latest go-round. The protesters include members of two very powerful Greek unions, and they're upset with a new austerity plan that calls for, among other things, $6.5 billion in various wage cuts, a one-year freeze on pensions, and a cut in two-month bonuses enjoyed by most public workers there. The unions say that today's demonstrations are just the beginning. My buddy Jim LeCamp has been worried what's happening there could soon be happening here. Jim is with Macroportfolio Wealth Management. And you were saying, you know, it's not that far a cry from what could happen here. What do you mean?
Even if you could set aside Social Security, Neil, and set aside Medicare, Medicaid, city governments, state governments, and federal government, we've made a lot of promises that we're just not going to be able to keep because the money's not going to be there. And a lot of the deals that you've made with federal employees and federal unions are deals that pay people in perpetuity after they retire. And maybe they work 30 years and then they get paid their same salary until they die. Well, when they made these deals, people were dying at age 65. Now they're dying at age 85, and we just can't afford it. So ultimately, we're going to have to cut some of the promises that we've made because the money simply won't be there. And when you mess with people's pensions, you mess with deals
they turn violent. They turn violent, and it's cradle to grave sort of protection they get used to with the government, which we saw in France a couple of years back.
Right.
Remember when they were throwing Molotov cocktails at the Eiffel Tower? At least the French had the dignity of taking off for dinner, though. They would continue protesting after dinner. But this is getting bad because they don't want to give back anything. You know, I can't blame you if you're used to this your entire life,
right,
and everything has been handled this way your entire life, and your final year, whatever you make in your salary is what you're going to make in your pension for the rest of your life, then you don't want that taken back. Yet it's a microcosm of what a lot of state workers, city workers, take nothing against them, but what they've enjoyed for many, many a year. And in states like New Jersey, California, and New York, they're being told, the money's not in the till, so what's next?
Yeah, you're seeing essential services being cut in a lot of cities around the country. Colorado Springs, Jefferson County, Alabama. They're cutting down a lot of things so that they can pay their bondholders, so that they can pay their fire and their police departments, but they're still running out of money. And you have a prolonged economic downturn that's with a jobless recovery, and the revenues just dry up. They dry up on the federal level, they dry up on the city and state level, and they dry up a lot faster than anybody had planned for, and pretty soon you just don't have the money. You go ask for federal assistance, and everybody's asking for federal assistance at the same time, and you look at what Greece is facing. Tax hikes and austerity measures all at the same time, which is unfortunately probably what we're looking at in this country. And when you
know, unions and state workers and their pensions, I mean, that's kind of like the third rail in a lot of states, and certainly for Democrats, the third rail politically, period.
Right.
So you can't have a president who is very much beholden in this country to this group entertaining, you know, hurting them in any way, which is why they get a $60 billion pass on this health care reform and how much they have to shoulder, and the rest of the population does not. So we can see the writing on the wall, can't we?
Yeah, and there's no way around it. There's no way he can make everybody happy, because the way that we've been able to do this is with ever-increasing amounts of debt. And now the public has become very aware of how much debt is out there. When they look at all the bailouts that are going on, they're looking at our debts, our deficits, and they're tired of it because they're not seeing any positive benefit unless they're in one of the groups that you've talked about.
So how soon is Greece here, do you think?
I think Greece is here within 3 to 4 years.
Wow. Jim, thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil. Good to see you.
I think.